So last week, we took a look at the contributions of Sierra Entertainment to the gaming community. I thought today we should continue on with some of the more influential gaming companies and look at another that added new styles and series to our beloved pastime. Today's focus is LucasArts. I'm Ollamh, and welcome to Geek Trivia. So LucasArts has made a lot of different games. Starting back in 1984 with Ball Blazer, they have quite a long list of games developed. One of the first hits for them was Labyrinth the Game in 1986. It was the first game they made that was based on a Lucasfilms movie. A year later, they introduced a new game that spawned a sequel, Maniac Mansion. This was a major move because it introduced their Scum scripting language that was used in almost all of their adventure games. Then, in 1989, they released Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which was an interesting release because there were actually two different versions of the game. One was an action platformer game, the other was an adventure point-and-click game. While both were fun, the adventure game was the winner between the two, and helped focus the company on what types of games the public wanted. They continued the adventure game trend the following year with the release of the much-hated Loom and the huge hit Secret of Monkey Island. This really focused them a bit more and helped them really compete against Sierra Entertainment with Monkey Island 2, Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, Maniac Mansion 2, Day of the Tentacle, Sam & Max Hit the Road, Full Throttle, and The Dig, all being released within the next 5 years. The gaming company had really made its mark. During this time, they also proved that Star Wars was a good property for gaming with the X-Wing and TIE Fighter space combat games. In 1995, they decided to spread their range even wider with a Star Wars first-person shooter by the name of Dark Forces. This was a huge hit as the first mission actually tied to the movie series, with the protagonist Kyle Katarn stealing the plans for the first Death Star and transmitting them to the Rebellion. Never a company to let go of a good thing, they continued making new Monkey Island games, Indiana Jones games, and of course, new Star Wars games. Dark Forces 2 was a new step as it was still a first-person shooter, but introduced lightsabers and force powers into the mix. Depending on your style, you could force push people and heal yourself, or if you were a bit wicked, force choke them and shoot lightning at them. By 1998, they were starting to try new things, including a change to their adventure game where you use the arrow keys to turn the character and make them walk in whatever direction they are facing. This was a feature of Grim Fandango and took the place of the more typical point-and-click in Escape from Monkey Island, the fourth and final Monkey Island game to be made exclusively by LucasArts. From that point on, they really focused themselves on Indiana Jones and Star Wars, adding new games and stories as well as bringing in stories based on the new Star Wars trilogy and cartoon series. These covered rail-style space combat, first-person shooters, role-playing games, and, of course, team combat simulators with Battlefront. On October 30th, 2012, LucasArts was acquired by Disney, along with the parent company Lucasfilms. At the time, there were 2 Star Wars games in the works, Star Wars 1313 and First Assault. These projects were said to be put on hold to focus on Episode 7, but on April 3rd, 2013, Disney stated that LucasArts would cease to operate as a video game developer, and future games would be developed by Disney Interactive Studios or licensed by a third-party developer. From 1984, when they released their first game, to 2010, when the last official game developed by LucasArts was released, this company gave us all 26 years of entertainment. It's kind of sad to think that there's no more Lucas games, but thankfully the development teams that brought us such great hits are still in the industry and working on new projects. So that is a brief look at LucasArts and the games they have given us. Which game did you particularly love? Was there one that you just hated to no end? Leave a comment down below and let us know. As always, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more from Ollamh Productions. Cheerio!
Travel gentlemen, I've decided that it's time to give you a gentleman's perspective on the world. Okay, that was kind of cool.